Hey, Tom here from The Run Testers with another running shoe versus. This video is brought to you by the team over at Precision Fuel and Hydration. More about those guys in a bit. But first, the shoes and the video. This is going to be a versus between two shoes that are a long time coming as a versus. Basically, I did this with versus last year between the previous versions of the shoe, and you were really interested in these two shoes. They're two cushion shoes that, if you're going to buy cushion shoes, they're going to be right at the top of your list. We've got the Brooks Glycerin 20 and the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 B12. So I'm going to be taking a look at these two cushioned options to see how they compare for different types of runs. Let's take a look. Many of you who are out there looking for cushion shoes are probably buying those shoes so that you can cover lots of miles in your training before race day. But if you're doing all that training, you probably need to make sure that you're fueling effectively and you're getting the right energy for the training that you're doing. That's why Precision Fuel and Hydration have launched their new caffeine gel, and that'll give you 100 milligrams of caffeine, 30 grams of carbs for each of these 51-gram serving packs. So well worth checking these out if you're looking to get some energy to keep you going through your runs and making the best of your training. I don't know a lot about caffeine and carbs when it comes to nutrition for running, so if you go to their website, there's loads of information in their blog explaining the benefits of using different types of energy, why caffeine is important for training, and you can also use their carb calculator to work out how many carbs you should be getting based on the training that you're doing. So yeah, there's a link below in the caption that you can get to all that information from, so go and check it out. You can also get a 15% discount on everything on the site if you use the code RT15. Right, back to the video. Brooks Glycerin 20 costs £150. There isn't a US price at the moment. It weighs in at 298 grams or 10.5 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 10 millimeters. The New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V12 costs £145 or $159.99. It weighs in at 283 grams or 9.9 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 8 millimeters. The New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V12 needs little introduction. The last two versions of the shoe, the V10 and the V11, have been incredibly popular with runners looking for a jack of all trades, designed for everything from easy miles all the way up to race day. According to New Balance, it's the best running shoe they make, which may seem like a bold claim, but in this case it's focused more on versatility than overall performance. At its core, the 1080 V12 is a cushioned daily shoe that's designed to be both comfortable but also offer a good level of responsiveness for faster training days. It's never going to compete with race shoes, but it's a daily trainer that ticks a lot of boxes. The midsole is made from New Balance's signature Fresh Foam X, a balanced material that sits slap bang in the middle of being soft and firm. The upper is made from a lightweight engineered knit which stretches as the foot moves, offering comfort and breathability. The 1080 V12 features an updated heel design with a foam padded collar. This moves the foot back slightly for a more snug fit. There's also a rocker design to promote a fluid transition and a healthy covering of outsole rubber for grip and durability. The shoe also comes in 4 widths: narrow, standard, wide and extra wide. The Glycerin line has long been a favourite for runners looking for comfort and cushioning over easy day miles and daily training. The Glycerin 20 sees one of the biggest changes to the shoe's design with the addition of a new nitrogen-infused DNA LOFT V3 midsole, aiming to be lighter, softer and more responsive than the previous versions. The upper is made from an engineered mesh that's built to offer breathability along with a secure fit, and there's plenty of padding around the ankle collar and tongue to provide a plush feel that cradles the foot on every run. Okay, so the fit for me in these two shoes, the Brooks Glycerin 20, true to size, it's absolutely perfect fit. It's really comfy. There's plenty of room in the front and the mid foot. It's a very comfortable shoe. I think it's a shoe designed for pretty much everyone, so that it just sort of generally fits into this really nice cushioned, relaxed upper for everyone who wants to use it, really, for those cushioned easy mile runs. So true to size for me in the Brooks Glycerin 20. The New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V12 is interesting because the fit for me in this is actually a little bit big. I've never had a problem with the size in any of the previous ones before, but I think the changes that have been made to the version 12 of the 1080 is that there's been some updates to the heel collar and how your heel sits into that section at the back. So because your foot is moved back a little bit, I do actually have loads of extra room at the front of this. So I would definitely size down in the Fresh Foam 1080 V12s by half a size, I would say, because they're just a little bit too big for me in the size 8s that I've got. The run test. Now this is an interesting one because both of these shoes are cushion shoes designed for easy training miles, up to daily training miles, but they're not comparable when it comes to that. What I would say about the Brooks Glycerin 20, now I love cushion shoes. My favourite shoes I ever wear are cushion shoes. I like easy runs. I like going out and having a nice, comfortable, soft, cushioned run when I go out. I just want it to be comfortable. So I'm a big fan of cushion shoes, and the Brooks Glycerin 20 is a fantastic shoe. It's a really good cushion shoe. I've always loved the Brooks Glycerin line. The 18 and 19 I was a massive fan of, as well as Nick. And the Brooks 20 has come in with this new nitrogen-infused DNA midsole foam, which I think is a vast improvement to the previous Brooks 19 Glycerin 19 midsole foam that they were using. It just feels a little bit bouncier for me, a little bit more responsive, possibly a little bit softer as well. I'm just getting a lot more from the midsole in the Brooks Glycerin 20, and I really enjoy that midsole. I've been running this quite a bit recently, and I've just been enjoying every run. I just think it's a really nice option to go for if you're just going out for a run and you just want easy miles, or you just want to have a nice day out and you're not worried about going fast in it. The Brooks Glycerin 20 is just really enjoyable. It's so comfortable in the midsole, but also the upper as well is just really plush, really holds the foot in place comfortably, and it's just a joy to run in. I absolutely have been loving the runs that I've been doing in the Brooks Glycerin 20. I also did an 11-mile race in this because I've been injured recently, so I decided to test this out so that I didn't injure myself again by using one of my carbon plate shoes. So I used the Brooks Glycerin 20 to slow me down a bit. And what I found was it's not a shoe designed for speed, as you probably could guess. You're not looking at this video because you want to know how fast you can go in a Brooks Glycerin 20. But what I did find is that over the first 8 miles or so, it was a bit sluggish. It's not a shoe that propels you forward. It's not a shoe that feels light or bouncy. But over the later miles of that race, I actually started to get quite a nice bit of pace up. I moved my speed from about 440 minute kilometers down to 415, and it felt like it sort of kicked into gear, and I started to know how to run in the shoe better, or it just sort of relaxed a bit, and the foam worked better after I'd done those 8 miles. But either way, I did find it was actually a lot better than I thought it would be for running at a consistent pace over that distance, much faster than I would normally run in the Brooks Glycerin 20. So from all of my testing in the Glycerin 20, what I found is it's just a really solid, really enjoyable cushion shoe for easy day runs, but can also go a bit faster as well. I wouldn't class it as a daily shoe unless your daily running was quite lower, at the lower end of the scale when it comes to speed. But I think it's fine for a lot of people. So if you were a runner that just wanted to go out and enjoy your runs and just do it for fitness and build up your mileage, I think it's a great shoe. Really comfortable, really, really like the Brooks Glycerin 20. The New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V12 is a great shoe. I've been a big fan of the previous versions, last 2 versions of the shoe. So the 10 and the 11, I ran in quite a lot and I really enjoyed those shoes. I think the thing about the Fresh Foam range and Fresh Foam 1080 range is that New Balance talk about it being their best shoe on their website. And when they're talking about it being their best shoe, I think what they actually mean is it's their most versatile shoe. So best in the terms that anyone can use it and get some value from it. It's a daily trainer, but it has got a lot of cushioning in, pretty much comparable with the Glycerin 20. But as a daily trainer, it veers probably more towards the cushion side. So it's a very comfortable shoe. It's really nice to wear. The midsole, Fresh Foam X midsole, it's got a nice balance. It's almost the perfect balance of softness and firmness. It just sits neatly in the middle. So at no point do you feel it's sluggish, but also it's just got enough cushioning to feel like it's not a firm, uncomfortable shoe to wear out on your easy or daily runs. So it's a really nice general shoe to wear that ticks a lot of boxes. It's great for easy day runs. It's I wouldn't say it's as good as the Brooks Glycerin 20 for easy day runs. It just doesn't have that level of cushioning that the Glycerin 20 has, but it's not far off. It's pretty close, and I'd be more than happy to use this for easy day runs because it's just really comfortable, and there's a nice level of midsole foam in there. The upper is really comfortable as well. It's got this knitted, elasticated sock-like feel, so it hugs the foot nicely, but it stretches as well. So if any part of your foot pushes out, and my the left side of my foot does press out a little bit, it's not a problem. It's just like you're wearing a sock, so it just pushes out against the fabric. No issues at all. Never had any rubbing in this shoe or the previous versions. So I think it's just overall a really comfortable shoe that would be great for pretty much anyone who's looking for a general shoe to wear. The thing I would say about the Freshfirm 1080 V12 as well is that it's more versatile than the Brooks Glycerin 20. Glycerin 20 sits at that comfort cushioning side of the market with a little bit of versatility in, but not a lot. This is a shoe, and as New Balance say on the website, is their best shoe. It's because people can use it for everything. I know many people that buy this shoe or the previous versions of this shoe to do everything, all of their running. So they'll buy it, they've signed up to the London Marathon, they've not done a lot of running before, they want to do training and they want to run the marathon, and they don't want to buy loads of shoes. This is the shoe that they often tend to go for because it covers you for all of those training runs. It covers you for all of those daily miles where you want a nice comfortable run, but you might want to go a bit faster. So you might be picking up, going more towards the sort of tempo side of training, and you can do it to an extent in this shoe. It's not the best at anything really. It doesn't really excel in any area. It's not the most cushioned shoe for easy day runs. It's not the fastest shoe for tempo training or races, but it ticks the boxes. It's good enough to do all of those things competently, and you'd be happy with that as well if you just had one pair of trainers. And even up to race day. So if you run a marathon in the New Balance Freshfirm 1080 V12, you will be fine doing that. It's got a nice balance in that midsole to let you run a bit faster, but you've got the cushioning as well. So it'll get you to the end of that marathon very comfortably, but you can still manage your pace as well. In the Brooks Glycerin 20, I would probably never run a marathon in that shoe unless I was just doing it purely for fun. Just because you just wouldn't be able to manage the pace and build up speed if you wanted to. You'd be very stuck in that position you're in. Whereas the 1080 V12, it allows you to do a bit more of that. And what I found from running in this shoe is that it's just much the same as the previous versions. I didn't notice a big difference. I would say that for some reason I think that the midsole is a bit softer in this shoe. I've always classed the Freshfirm midsole as being fairly balanced. I just think it's a little bit softer. I don't know if they've changed anything in it. I did a 10-mile run in last night. For me, it just felt a little bit less responsive than the previous versions. Although, from what I've heard, there's been no changes to the midsole, so that might just be me struggling at the moment because maybe I'm not as fit as I was when I tested the previous pair out. So yeah, I would say overall it's just a fantastic general shoe. You're not going to go wrong with a Freshfirm 1080 V12 if you're just looking for a general shoe. I really like this shoe. I wouldn't say it's a major improvement on the previous version apart from the fit. So that heel section has seen quite a big upgrade to the 1080 V11. The 1080 V11 didn't have a lot of padding on it, and it had a sort of strange curved shape which wasn't very comfortable for a lot of people, and people did talk about it having a lot of heel slippage from that shoe. So it's good to find out that New Balance have really listened to that, and they've modified it with this noticeably plusher, more cushioned heel section which really holds the foot in place. But because of that, it does make the foot go back in the shoe a little bit, so that's why you need to go half a size down in this shoe. And lastly, the outsole on both of these shoes is really good. Actually, the Glycerin 20 has loads of rubber on it, and it's very sticky rubber. It's really good for grip. I've used this on a variety of terrains and I really like it. The Glycerins always generally have pretty good grip on the outsole, and the new one is no exception. The 1080 V12 also has loads of rubber. I'd say the rubber isn't as good at grip as the Glycerin 20. It's not far off, but I just think the Glycerin 20's got fantastic grip. But it does, on both shoes, covers most of the shoe. There's a little bit of exposed on the 1080 V12 and both on the Glycerin 20 as well, but there's plenty of rubber on there, and the grip on them, both of them, is really good. Okay, so the verdict for me in these two shoes, I love them both. I think they're great shoes. Brooks Glycerin is probably my second favourite cushion shoe at the moment. I absolutely love it. New Balance Freshfirm More V3 actually beats it a bit for me, which is the more cushioned version of the 1080 V11 V12. But I think really these two shoes are very similar in a lot of ways. I just think the difference is that you get a bit more versatility from the 1080 V12. So if you're looking for a shoe that can cover you for lots of different types of training, I definitely go for the V12. It's just a little bit better at dealing with speed. It's just ticks a lot more boxes for me when it comes to different types of run, whereas the Glycerin 20 I generally only go for if I just want a nice, slow, comfortable run that just feels great. Alternatives for me for both of these shoes, the New Balance More V3 is, as I said, the cushioned update to this. Very similar in terms of design and the feel. It's probably a little bit thicker at the top. It's quite a bit heavier. But the addition of that, more of that midsole foam does make it feel a lot softer. Nowhere near as versatile as the 1080 V12. So if you do want that versatility and you want one shoe that can do everything, More V3 won't do that. If you just want loads of cushioning, that shoe is fantastic. My favourite cushion shoe at the moment beats the Glycerin 20. But like the More V3, the Glycerin 20, it's just great if you want comfort, cushioning, and you just want to churn out the miles without worrying too much about tempo training or speed training or anything like that. But you just want to tick off the miles in pure comfort in a solid, stable shoe that just feels great every single run you go out in. I'd go for the Brooks Glycerin 20. They're both about the same price. They both sit around that £150 mark, which is quite expensive. There are other options out there like the Puma Velocity Nitro and the Nitro 2. That's probably a better daily option if you're looking for value over the New Balance 1080 V12. And it's a shoe that all of the run testers have been massive fans of. In both iterations of it, the 1 and the 2. So I'd say that that's a good option if you want something that's going to be a little bit cheaper but give you the same benefits that you're going to get from the 1080 B12. But overall, it really comes down to that type of run you're doing. If you want versatility in one pair of shoes that can do everything, 1080 V11 V12. If you want comfort and cushioning and just to enjoy your runs, Glycerin 20. So that's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click that little bell icon. And don't forget to check the caption out below and click on the link to go through to Precision Fuel and Hydration's website where you can look at their new coffee gels, as well as check out all of the information they've got on how you should be fueling for your runs. Check the channel out as well for all the videos we've got from the latest road and trail shoes, as well as running headphones and watches out at the moment. And I will see you next time.